It is Monday, the 19th day of January 2026. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight here on UBC TV. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Sanyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, the Chief Justice Owinye-Dolo retires from the judiciary, hands over office. The Electoral Commission dismisses media reports on Ajuri County parliamentary seat results. The first Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, meets all Busoga sub-region elected members of Parliament. And the Minister for Energy and Mineral assures that Uganda remains on track to achieve first commercial oil by July 2026. Hello there and welcome once again. Now, the outgoing Chief Justice Owinye-Dolo for the years he has served the country has been commending a government for the years that he has served the country, rising through the ranks of the judiciary to the position of Chief Justice until his retirement. Now, this was echoed by different speakers during the official handover ceremony at the judiciary headquarters in Kampala, following his retirement upon attaining the constitutional age limit. We have more in this story.
Article 144(1) of the Constitution provides that a judicial officer may retire at any time after attaining the age of 60 years and shall vacate office. Clause 1A further provides that in case of the Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, a Justice of Supreme Court, and a Justice of Court of Appeal, retirement shall be upon attaining the age of 70 years. In compliance with these constitution provisions, the Chief Justice Alphonse Chigamoi Owinye-Dolo has officially retired from office after clocking 70 years. Outgoing Chief Justice Alphonse Chigamoi Owinye-Dolo officially handed over office to the Deputy Chief Justice at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala.
With all of this together, I had the privilege to manage the affairs of the judiciary for the past 5 years. I have constantly considered myself merely as a first among equals. That is my style of administration. Therefore, whatever achievements that we have registered in the judiciary in the last 5 years must be attributed to each and all of us in the top management of the judiciary.
Dolo commended the strong working relationship he enjoyed with the entire judiciary.
I do so today with confidence that the judiciary is in capable hands, led by men and women of integrity, competence, and commitment to the rule of law. As I take my leave, I do so with gratitude for the trust reposed in me, pride in what we have collectively accomplished, and faith in the future of Uganda's judiciary.
The acting Chief Justice and Deputy Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Nzeija, described the retired Chief Justice as a hard-working leader.
I can only point about two types of leadership from him. That is participatory leadership and transformational leadership styles. Those are the two he employed, and this is what led us to achieve what we achieved. He was one of those who initiated the peace settlement between the LRA rebels and the government of Uganda. He didn't mention that, but that was massive. It prevented the carnage.
The principal judge, Lady Francis Jane Francis Abodo, described the retired Chief Justice as a mentor and administrator.
Your Lordship's contribution to justice administration has extended far beyond the bench. As the former Director of Public Prosecutions, I can personally attest to your support to me as a DPP and of course to the entire Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
The Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Dr. Pius Bigirimana, applauded the retired Chief Justice for championing alternative dispute resolution mechanism.
I must say you are the grandfather of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Thank you very much for steering this, the judiciary, and making ADR your trademark. And throughout the time the Chief Justice has been here, I have found comfort, I have found commitment.
The retired Chief Justice, Justice Alphonse Chigamoy Owunyidolo, served the judiciary for 17 years, including 5 years as Chief Justice of Uganda. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansuga, UBC News.
We'll remain with the Chief Justice momentarily there. And of course, as you've heard in that story, Chief Justice Alphonse Owunyidolo has officially retired after attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70. And that has brought to an end his tenure at the helm of Uganda's judiciary. But let's have a look now at the Chief Justice's profile.
Owunyidolo stepped down on Sunday, January 18, 2026, concluding a judicial career that began in 2008 when he was appointed a judge of the High Court. He later served on the Court of Appeal before being elevated to Deputy Chief Justice in 2017 and subsequently assumed office as Chief Justice in August 2020. During his tenure as head of the judiciary, Owunyidolo focused on strengthening the court system through increased funding, improved infrastructure, and the adoption of technology to speed up case handling. He also promoted mediation, plea bargaining, and small claims courts as alternatives to lengthy litigation processes, initiatives aimed at reducing case backlogs and easing prison congestion. One of the major developments under his leadership was the relocation of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal to a new twin-tower judicial complex in Kampala, constructed to improve access to justice and enhance service delivery. Unlike previous transitions, Owunyidolo leaves office before the appointment of a new Chief Justice. The Judicial Service Commission has already submitted a list of nominees to the President for consideration. Those shortlisted include Justices Mike Chibita, Catherine Bamgemerere, Monica Mujenyi, Christopher Mandrama, and Deputy Chief Justice Dr. Flavian Zeije. While his tenure was largely praised for judicial reforms, it also attracted criticisms, particularly during the 2021 presidential election petition, which exposed internal disagreements within the Supreme Court. Before joining the bench, Owunyidolo served as a member of parliament, participated in drafting the 1995 Constitution, and worked as legal counsel in peace negotiations. He holds academic qualifications in law and conflict resolution.
Thanks, Timothy, for that profile there of the outgoing Chief Justice. Now, the Electoral Commission has dismissed media reports claiming that the Ajuri County parliamentary seat has already been decided. The Commission says no winner has been declared yet, insisting that the electoral process in Ajuri County is still ongoing following disputes in 18 polling stations, in which a repeat has been decided on the 27th of this month. Eddie Olua gives us more.
The Electoral Commission has moved to clarify what it describes as misleading media report, suggesting that the incumbent Member of Parliament for Ajuri County, Dennis Samson Obua, has lost the parliamentary race. According to the returning officer for Leptong District, Jessica Adon-Ochienna, tallying of results has not been concluded in Ajuri County due to disagreements arising from 18 polling stations located in Abako and Away sub-county in Leptong District. Adon says following consultations with the Commission, a decision was taken to conduct a repeat in the affected polling stations on the 27th of this month.
Ajuri has 178 polling stations, but so far we have tallied results for only 160. The results of these polling stations were not tallied because of disagreements on the results as the returning officer was reading out to the public.
She says until this process is completed, no candidate can legally be declared winner of the Ajuri County Member of Parliament race.
The repeat election will be only in these polling stations in order to give us results that will cover the entire 178.
The Ajuri County parliamentary race has 5 candidates, but the contest remains particularly tight between NRM's Dennis Samson Obua and the UPC's Fred Jalameso.
The elections will take place on 27th of January, and in this case, candidates are not allowed to campaign because it's considered that they had already campaigned enough. My appeal to the media, get the information, the exact information on ground to avoid causing anxiety and excitement in the community.
The returning officer further appealed to the media to exercise professional responsibility, warning that premature or inaccurate reporting could cause unnecessary public anxiety and excitement. Eddie Olua, UBC News.
Thanks, Eddie, for that story there. Now, the highly contested race for special interest group representatives to Parliament, particularly the workers' representatives, has marked a significant milestone with jubilation among winners and disappointment among those who fell short. According to tentative results, Fiona Naku has emerged victorious as the female workers' representative to Parliament after securing 290 votes. She narrowly defeated the incumbent, Awoli Agnes Kunhira, who garnered 287 votes in a tightly contested race that featured 5 other candidates.
Second edition of the 2026-2031 polling exercise, with Ugandans voting for special interest groups and specifically workers' representatives to Parliament. Here at Chibuli Secondary School, the exercise has concluded successfully and counting of votes is in progress. Of jubilation marked victory for some, while others faced disappointment following the tightly contested race for workers' representative seats in Parliament.
Social person, and I relate well with people, and that is what has made me popular across the country. And I believe I'll use my ability to make sure that we work together as a team. I want to congratulate all the participants that we were contesting with, especially the incumbent. It's been a tough one. She has put up a good fight. Congratulations, but we always have one winner. Thank you for giving me the way to also lead the labor movement. And I want to promise my electorates that we shall work together to make sure that we build the labor movement, we work in the interest of the country and develop our livelihoods.
We need first of all to appreciate the delegates of all corners of the country for entrusting the young girl. I think she was among the young girls, or she was among the young persons who was in this race. But according to the entrust, the delegates have trusted him. They have given him this victory.
Congratulations to Naku. Now, the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development is upbeat and confident that Uganda remains on track to achieve first commercial oil by July 2026. In her assessment tour of the oil activities in the Albertine Graben, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa urged all the stakeholders to fully meet their obligations, calling for collective effort to deliver what she described as historic national milestone. Dennis Tigoa gives us more.
The oil race is on. The government of Uganda and the joint venture partners China National Offshore Oil Corporation (CNOOC), Total Energies and Uganda National Oil Company (UNOC) have reaffirmed their commitment to deliver first commercial oil in 2026. After over a decade of anticipation, the long wait may finally be nearing its end. 2026 stands as a defining milestone in Uganda's journey of transformation. It is the year that the country will finally join the elite league of oil-producing countries.
It is for real that Uganda is soon becoming an oil-producing country. And maybe we shall change attire and begin dressing like those people who are oil producing, the sheikhs and sheikhats. But all in all, our economy is going to.
With timelines tightening, the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, and key players in the oil and gas sector have hit the ground running. In the first week of this year, the minister, accompanied by a high-level delegation, inspected the progress of marine storage and terminal facility in Tanga, Tanzania, a critical component of the East African crude oil pipeline.
This will be an important step leading up to that point where we will eventually have a refinery up, 60,000 barrels to be fed to the refinery, and 200,000 barrels which will continue to be evacuated through here at Tanga for the next 25 years and beyond.
With the mission accomplished in Tanzania, the delegation proceeded to the Albertine Graben in Uganda, where progress and infrastructure readiness ahead of the July 2026 deadline were closely assessed. The itinerary included ECOP's Pump Station 1, CNOOC's Kingfisher oil field on the shores of Lake Albert, and Total Energies' Tilenga project.
Come July 31st, after the commissioning, that commissioning will be a technical commissioning. And the political commissioning will be done in October. We shall see a commissioning of the jetty at the end where crude oil will be, exported. That will be in October. So money will begin trickling in from the transportation tariff.
During the site visits, officials were briefed on the construction milestones, commissioning schedules, and the overall readiness of critical oil infrastructure.
In terms of pumping, Pump Station 1 is the heart of ECOP. Now, PS1 is at 79% completion. There are different aspects of the project, civil, electrical, mechanical, but this project is on schedule for July 31st, 2026, where we shall ensure that the entire ECOP pipeline system is ready and available to deliver crude oil to the international market.
The high-level engagement underscores the strong political willingness to deliver Uganda's first commercial oil in the second half of 2026. Dennis Igawa for UBC.
The first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, has convened a meeting of newly elected and returning members of parliament from all political parties and independents in the Busoga sub-region. During the meeting at Centenary Apartments in Masese, Jinja City, Kadaga cautioned the legislators against being used for political interest at the expense of Busoga.
Kadaga tipped the Member of Parliament that some of their predecessors lost seats due to infighting rather than focusing on service delivery. She urged them to collectively demand key infrastructure projects. National Unity Platform leading members of parliament welcomed Kadaga's initiative that fronts Busoga's interests. Bukoli North Member of Parliament Jamal Mokove warned colleagues against repeating the mistakes of past leaders.
It is very prudent that this meeting sticks on Busoga issues. We disagree on other issues, but let us stick to Busoga issues. And I wanted to make that clear, very clear. Because for me, when it comes to Busoga,
Jinja Southwest Member of Parliament Dr. Timothy Lusalabatua thanked Kadaga for intervening when his election victory was under threat. The newly elected woman Member of Parliament for Jinja District, Peace Tibiaze, called for collective support from fellow leaders.
Mama talwerabira abantu baida tusabubi wewaye chindi ayenda tenda park ndowoza itaka inda district erina itaka lingi twina kufuna engeri etusosinga itaka eryo.
Independent Kagoma North MP Moses Waliomu called on President Yoweri Museveni to recognize Kadaga's contribution.
President Museveni obango lwatu wabona mawulire nekusaba Nchomkaira alitwala Kadaga omuwa vice president obuwa prime minister.
Ndi mukyala akolera abantu bonna ndi mukyala alina bowa holoze ebikumi n'ebikumi montukire mbawe kusobola okuextendinga projects ezo.
Kadaga urged the MPs to unite, focus on the needs of their constituents and avoid political divisions. Nals Bawini reporting for UBC.
The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Waryomunsi, has successfully defended the Kinkizi East parliamentary seat after winning the race with 23,873 of the valid votes cast. With more on that, here is our reporter, Crispus Arinitwe.
Kanungu district has got two constituencies, Chinchizi East and Chinchizi West, comprising 27 sub-counties plus a total voter population of 164,908. The voting process was largely peaceful in Chinchizi East. In Chinchizi East, 8 candidates contested the seat, while 6 competed in Chinchizi West. About 4 candidates vied for the woman member of parliament for Kanungu district. Dr. Waryomunsi cast his vote at Kayanja Catholic Church, pledging people-centered service delivery.
Kanungu, as a hard-to-reach area, we are definitely pushing for tarmacking some of the roads which connect us to the rest of the country. We are going to put energy in boosting tourism and also ensuring that the local people can benefit from tourism, because Kanungu is a tourism area. NRM government has been providing services, but we need to scale up and expand some of these services. For instance, electricity needs to be expanded and extended to the rest of the communities. Safe water access has to be expanded, but also we have to look at the issue of education. As a government, we've already taken a decision to make sure that universal primary and secondary education becomes free. And that's one of the cardinal issues I will push within the government and parliament.
Following tallying process, Dr. Waryomunsi won with 23,830 votes against Sam Kajajo's 20,739 votes.
First of all, I want to appreciate and thank the voters in Chinchizi East who have voted me once again, because I've been a serving member of parliament and they have renewed my mandate. This means they appreciate the work that I've been doing as a member of parliament. They still have trust and confidence in me that I'm the one who is able to push for what is remaining.
In Chinchizi West, incumbent James Kaberuka defeated retired AIGP John Ngari Ndungutse.
So I just want to call upon the people, even those ones who were against me in the race. We are not enemies anyway. And I want to call upon them just to reconcile because leadership is a calling. You can't force people. Now people have chosen.
I want to thank the general public. They gave us votes, they trust in us, and we thank them.
Incumbent woman MP Patience Chinshaba emerged victorious in the poll.
I'm so excited, I'm so happy. I thank the people of Kanungu, I thank the voters who have entrusted me with their seat again. They expect a lot from me to represent them in parliament, to do what I'm supposed to do.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBS News.
Congratulations, Minister Baryomonsi. Now, Frank Bulida Kabinga of the Revolutionary People's Party, RPP, has commended the people of Uganda for voting for him. Bulida, the presidential candidate in the recently concluded 2026 general elections, garnered 45,959 votes, representing 0.415%, placing him in the 5th position. Bulida does not agree with the officially declared results by the Electoral Commission. Despite this, he has committed himself to mobilize ahead, strengthen and establish the party's structures. Take a watch.
Was standing on federalism, and our core is federalism. And the reason as to why we got all that support, much as we did move a lot, was basically because Ugandans are more than ready for federal. And we are the only people who had a program and an agenda for Uganda. The rest were just having rhetorics and usual says. Men and women from every region, from the 16 regions and federal states making up Uganda, who placed their trust in the Revolutionary People's Party presidential candidate. One of the Electoral Commission declared the results, giving me 45,959 votes, representing 0.415%. That differs from our tallied outcomes, which put us in the Electoral Commission, putting us in the 5th position. We must, as the RPP, also speak honestly about the constraints we faced. The deliberate incapacitation of our resource pool significantly limited our ability to conduct the number of rallies and grassroots engagements we had promised to Ugandans. This affected our reach, but it did not weaken our resolve. Our mission was never a short-term contest. It is a long-term struggle for the full liberation of our country, Uganda. Our commitment remains firm to continue working tirelessly, peacefully, and to strategically build an inclusive Uganda, and a Uganda that recognizes all regions and empowers all citizens and advances a new federal agenda in the year 2026. As the RPP, we are not going to courts of law.
The Democratic Front Party has rejected the outcome of recently concluded presidential and parliamentary elections results, citing widespread irregularities, systemic failures and deliberate violations of the electoral law. DF Party President Mathias Mpuga was addressing the media at the party headquarters at Bishop Road, Namirembe.
The Democratic Front is crying foul after losing 88 parliamentary seats in the recently concluded presidential and parliamentary elections. The DF Party President Mathias Mpuga attributed their failure to secure parliamentary seats to the failure of biometric voter verification machines.
DF is particularly concerned on the widespread failure of the machines in the just concluded presidential and parliamentary elections. The malfunctioning of the kits rendered the entire electoral process incredible and unverifiable.
Mpuga said the Electoral Commission's authorization of manual voter verification when biometric kits failed resulted into voter suppression.
DF is concerned that contrary to the use of the biometric technology as the panacea to fraud and multiple voting, in many parts of the country, the decision to resort to use of manual verification was fraudulently exploited resulting into multiple voting and ballot stuffing.
The party also raised what it called illegal declaration of results by presiding officers.
The EF is concerned by the rampant false declarations of election results by presiding officers in many constituencies nationwide. In the instance, authentic declaration of result forms were shortchanged in many places to include Masaka, Gulu.
DF reiterated its long-standing proposal that presidential results be verified at district level before final declaration.
That presidential election results should be declared at a district level to avoid transmitted fraud as results move from one area to another.
The party also condemned the involvement of the military in the electoral process, who intimidate voters and agents.
The DF decries the blatant involvement of the military, security agencies in the election process. And we have said before, this is contrary to the law.
The party says it is consulting internally and with stakeholders on the next step to take. Joseph Chigozigola and Mary Namukose for UBC News.
The Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, has won both parliamentary seats in Soroti City following the conclusion of elections. Moses Atan Okia of FDC has been declared the winner of the Soroti City East Member of Parliament seat. Atan defeated independent candidate Rodney Akongel Mukula in a closely contested race.
According to the Soroti City East returning officer, John Gonzaga Olinga, Atan polled 7,682 votes while Mukula obtained 4,657 votes.
It's a new chapter. We've lost valuable time, and I come to bridge the gap that has been missing, a voice that will matter and speak for the people. We will be moving all the wards, the corners of this constituency. We will be carrying the pains and the injustices, the suffering of our people from Soroti East to the National Assembly. And we believe we will be pushing an agenda to lessen the suffering, the poverty in this community in the next 5 years.
NRM's Isaac Orego garnered 4,248 votes, while the remaining candidates shared less than 500 votes combined. Atan won the seat with a margin of 3,025 votes. Speaking after his victory, Moses Atan Okia pledged to bridge leadership gaps and serve all residents of Soroti City.
As far as malice, propaganda, financial constraints, but I thank the people of Soroti East and the people of Teso. They've donated to this campaign. Young people have parted with money for fueling the vehicles. They have made sacrifices, and it is to them that I bestow this struggle. I am in this for the people, and I will be pushing an agenda for the people, and I will speak without fear or favor for the interests that make Teso a better place for our children and grandchildren.
Meanwhile, FDC's Joan Achom Alobo has retained the Soroti City Woman Member of Parliament seat. Alobo defeated NRM's Sarah Inachu after polling 19,040 votes against Inachu's 10,085 votes. The returning officer officially declared Alobo the winner. With these victories, FDC maintains its long-standing dominance in Soroti City.
Let's remain in Soroti momentarily, where the NRM candidate David Calvin Echodu has won the Soroti City West parliamentary seat, defeating the incumbent Jonathan Ebwalo of the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC.
I therefore declare Echodu David Calvin, who has obtained the highest.
We are going to see a united Soroti. We are going to work and foster development and change and make sure that Soroti City reflects a city that we all aspire to have. We are going to work with you to make sure that we create employment build on infrastructure and development. People of Soroti City West, I want to say thank you for trusting me and electing me as your member of parliament for 2021-2026. What I want to say to the people of Soroti, 2026, what I want to say to the people of Soroti City is that this is a dawn of a new chapter for Soroti City. This is going to be a different Soroti are going to see.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Kabogos, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namavundi to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. You walk on the era. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
You can register for NSSF. I'll contribute to your Simate life. Now deep down in the Barara. Make NSSF payments. No hala okubekarangala. NSSF sure is not far. But just tomorrow kuhika gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account, Jubira. NSSF, a better life.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, the chairman, Mityana District NRM Entrepreneurs League, Yosam Tejerize, has cautioned youth against engaging in practices that disrupt peace in the country. Tejerize was addressing the media at Katiko in Mityana municipality. We have more in this story.
Mityana District NRM Entrepreneurs League have congratulated President Yoweri Museveni and the NRM fraternity for winning a presidency in the just concluded presidential and parliamentary elections.
In fact, it was an easy win, being that Ugandans still love President Museveni.
The chairman, Mityana District NRM Entrepreneurs League, Yosam Tejerize, urged the youth against engaging in practices that disrupt peace in the country.
There is a security. Now we have nice roads. We even have power. What you have to ask the government and His Excellency the President is to put too much effort to see that we can continuously have a good working environment.
Ntejarize appealed to government in the next 5 years to improve rural roads for connectivity and extend electricity to rural areas for small-scale businesses.
Now should emphasize on constructing more roads, on improving on health facilities, and actually reducing on the taxes that are now becoming a burden. All Ugandans should pay taxes. By taxes, they shouldn't be burden. So I beg the government to look into that so that it can reduce on the taxes, because when taxes becomes more high than the profits made, that really becomes a burden to we, the taxpayers.
Welcome home to entertainment. To Wi-Fi everywhere. To high-speed internet. To security. To first-class support. To convenience. Welcome home to MTN WakaNet, superior internet for every home. Visit www.mtn.co.ug/WakaNet. Welcome home. Together, we are unstoppable.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
The Ministry of Works and Transport, in collaboration with the Uganda Police Force, is rolling out the mandatory motor vehicle inspection services as one of the interventions to improve road safety, protect the environment, and safeguard the health and well-being of the public. The key items for inspection are the braking system, suspension system, the lighting system, the exhaust emissions, and the general mechanical conditions of the vehicles, among others. The exercise has commenced for all government vehicles, public service vehicles PSVs operating on fixed routes with route charts, private omnibuses PMOs, tourist vehicles, and those as may be referred by the Uganda Police Force in a dangerous mechanical condition. Other categories including private vehicles, light omnibuses, taxis, trucks and motorcycles will begin on a date to be communicated by the Minister of Works and Transport. The vehicle inspection centers are Kawanda on Bombo Road and Namamve on Jinja Road for motorcycles, light and heavy vehicles, Nabingo on Masaka Road and Namulanda on Entebbe Road for motorcycles and light vehicles. Mbale, Gulu and Bara inspection centers are for all categories of vehicles. The inspection fees have been significantly reduced to ensure compliance. Get your vehicles ready for inspection. Safer vehicles, safer road users, safer journeys. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at business news now. And business activity in Kampala City has swiftly returned to normal following the recent general election, defying widespread fears of chaos and post-election violence. In interviews with our reporter Dennis Sigoa, city residents, most of them small-scale entrepreneurs, are staying away from work is no longer an option as the rising cost of living and mounting household bills demand uninterrupted economic activity. We have the following story.
We are in downtown Kampala, specifically at the Queensway roundabout. From the look of things, there is a semblance of normalcy. A few days ago, actually the day before yesterday, we were at this specific point, at this particular point, and everything had come to a halt. But right now, looks like Kampala, the people of Kampala are returning to their enterprises. They are ready to do business.
I see everything is okay. Yes.
So what, you have been moving around the city, will you say that all the businesses are open and people are excited to be back?
The way I see it's fine.
The way I see it's fine.
Yeah.
This is the clip today, or the video footage for today. Compare it with Saturday. There's a very big difference. On Saturday, there was no traffic. There were no people in the city. But today, things are different. It seems people are out there, and those ones who are home are now back, and are trying to do some business. Of course, Kampala people know what has brought them to the city, and for them, most of them know they're here in the city to make money. And the few people we have talked to, all of them have the same line. They say that the politics does not put food on their table, and for them, they want to make money.
No, for us, we are businessmen, but we have been doing business smoothly. Nothing has happened. We are just okay. All right.
The situation in Kampala so far, it's okay. Nothing has changed so much according to what we anticipated to happen. So let them come and work. Nothing much has changed.
So Kampala people know it's about making money?
Only money what we are looking for.
Yes.
So sitting at home fearing Kampala, it makes no sense.
Abantu baagala okukola embeera mbi mu bantu tubadde twalindirira okulonda naye okulonda ekuva kwawedde tulina okudda mu mirimu gyaffe ne tutandika okukola kubanga renti asigala atambula ow'ewaka n'ow'amaduuka. Ekyo Museveni kyasooka okukola ku kya security. Bw'oba olina akafuyo ng'akoleta mu kibuga bajja kukolako we bali bangi.
From the look of things, people are happy to be back in the city to run their businesses. And now that there is a return to normalcy, they are happy and they are willing to do business, bearing in mind that in a few weeks, schools will be reopening and they of course have to pay their rent. Dennis Sigoa for UBC.
Thanks, Dennis Sigoa. And of course, people should go back to their businesses because there is security, not only in Kampala, but generally all over the country. The food and climate change advocates under the plant-based treaty are raising alarm over a surge in obesity and other non-communicable diseases across low and middle-income countries, a growing public health crisis. Speaking during an engagement with Catholic religious leaders at the Laudato Si Center in Busoga Catholic Parish, the advocates called for a shift toward plant-based food systems, urging Africa to reclaim its indigenous foods as a solution for public health, climate action and food justice.
Communicable diseases rise across low and middle income countries, food and climate justice advocates are advocating for a return to Africa's traditional diets.
When we look at animal-based food products, most of them are processed, and in the process they are processed with additives, hormones and other antibiotics, and at the end of it all they end up posing a healthy threat to our lives.
We want to offer you that knowledge, that awareness, and to bring these implementations onto plan. So, but you decide what you want to bring on your plate for lunch, for dinner, you can make that informed decision.
Meeting Catholic religious leaders at the Laudato Si Center in Busoga Catholic Parish, the plant-based treaty movement called for promotion of plant-based food systems as a solution to human health.
We want our governments to make sure that they have the best intent with us, not follow the big corporations, not follow the media, the marketing, and focus on what we need to thrive and sustain as a healthy society.
When we shift to plant-based food systems, we shall not only be food secure, but we shall be consuming food that is healthy, nutritious, and the food that will, at the end of the day, solve the problem of malnutrition.
Plant-based treaty global coordinator Cindy Veltens says food systems are driving climate change and call for a return to traditional plant-based diets.
But animal agriculture is demanding so much resources. The governments can take into place to make sure that we have policies into place to focus on systems that are good for the people economically, sustainably, climate-friendly, and health-wise.
On the overall, engaging communities to adopt more plant-based meals is essential for health and sustainability.
When we think about enterprises or entrepreneurship, it's something that could also be used to empower youth and women in the agricultural sector, both for the market and also for the home consumption.
Through churches, we call upon all people in our country to join us, to join our struggle so that we can get endorsements and we save our climate.
Plant-based treaty campaigners also call for reforms in dietary guidelines, and urgent action is needed to fix failing food systems.
A little bit of sports news now, and of course we'll go back to the AFCON, the final yesterday that happened in Morocco, and of course Morocco, the hosts, taking on those guys from Senegal, and it was chaotic, as those of you who may have watched during that final game, and what you're seeing there is actually Brahim Diaz, who is a player at Real Madrid. He failed to convert that penalty in the final minute, actually seconds of the game, and as you've seen there, the Senegalese goalkeeper getting the ball, and it was something that many people have been talking about it. Probably he intended to do that, for fair play, but Morocco has been looking for this trophy for a very long time, and people are saying that probably it wasn't his intention not to score. But yes, the game ended, after extra time, with Senegal beating Morocco, the hosts, by 1-0. Very, very heartbreaking for the hosts. And some of the things that probably people picked up in that game was that Sadio Mane looked like he is indeed a captain, because remember when the penalty was awarded, the Senegalese players walked off the pitch, but he, of course, after consulting legend Diouf, Alhaji Diouf, he had to go back and call his teammates. They came back, and indeed, after about 6 minutes of standoff, the penalty had to be taken. Unfortunately, Morocco could not score, and Senegal ended up winning that game, that final, by 1-0. And that, of course, was the end of the AFCON 2025. And we do believe that those of you who are watching UBC TV, we did what we could. We gave you many games, and especially these other ones, the quarterfinals, a few selected games, but the semi-final and the final, UBC managed to give those games to you, and we do commend the government and of course all the other stakeholders who made sure that UBC gave you those games there of AFCON 2025.
Abdullah Sek, Ismail Jacobs, Clippendia to let go of greatness and to deepen their legacy even further. This was a statement to African football. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's what happened last night in Morocco. And now, before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, Chief Justice Owinye Dolo retires from the judiciary, hands over office. The Electoral Commission dismisses media reports on Ajuri County parliamentary seat results. First Deputy Prime Minister Aditwala Rebecca Kadaga meets all Busoga sub-region elected members of Parliament. And Minister for Energy and Mineral Resources assures that Uganda remains on track to achieve first commercial oil by July 2026. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But our second and final edition of News Tonight comes your way at 10 p.m.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every organization and individual has a unique story to tell. It includes how they started.
When I thought of retiring, the journey of truckers started.
This was the whole economy of Uganda from 1903 to 1953. And from 1953, other people came into Namunkekere. And then us now.
I came here in 1994.
How they are currently performing and where they are heading.
Our factory for the last 13 years employs over 300.
We present to you the masterminds behind some of the biggest projects in the country.
For the president, he was excited. When he saw this, he said, can it move? He said he's going to do everything to support.
The Minister of Information then invited me to come and start the new vision.
I created the man-made lake in Mokono.
We have another medicine fight poverty, and that is the PDM now. All this that is happening in the country is enshrined in the subject called Musevenomics. It's the man who has been driving the economic policies which have shaped our direction up to now.
Tune into the Journey program on UBC TV to hear from CEOs, managers, entrepreneurs, diplomats, and many others as they share their inspiring stories and experiences, all aimed at inspiring Uganda.
Every Monday at 11 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 11 a.m.